right. Hello, friends. Day 15. Bar is closed. I think I'm over any kind of craving for booze, although I just got back from Denver. Coming in, getting greeted by my dog, and kind of getting settled in, and alone time in the house, staring out at the one tree that's still hanging over from the last storm, and everything else is kind of back to normal. Nice to be here. I'm glad you guys are here with me tonight. It's nice to talk to somebody, actually, because, it actually is the first urge. We've talked about urges and coming home, flight, trip, Sunday night. Perfect time. Pour some drinks and chill out and kind of boozy into the night and crash out happy. I even felt like I had that kind of urge of, did I have anything to say? I bet if I had a couple of drinks, I'd be popping right back to some kind of conversational mode. So this is the sober version of, nope, you don't get to have that bump, and no, you don't get to have that So find another way, which is pretty cool. So I'm not drinking hot tea now. I'm drinking some cold tea, which feels kind of good. The fire's going. It's really still now, but not like before the storm still. Tahoe's laying here at my feet. I just bought some new mountain dorky looking slippers so I can slide them on and off as I go outside in the freezing cold and puff on my pipe. Really the only thing I'm pondering right now is, why in the hell did I decide to choose to start drinking whiskey during the pandemic? I mean, really, that's the worst idea ever. When they said, pick your poison, there's a real nature to all this. I think this is something I hope to start to find more about, is the spirit of the spirits. Like, I knew that whiskey made me kind of a meaner person in the past. I've dabbled with the different potions. And so you've got the whiskey who has me, feeling like a wild sailor man. So I can either be having a blast and hanging from the ceiling and being a fool and have fun with it, or I can be, a real dick. And then there's, or aggressive or impatient or just whiskey. I'm whiskey. And it has its place, right? But for the longest time, I had whiskey regimented to like the campfire out in the middle of nowhere, right? Like that's when I could drink whiskey. And now somehow I thought it was a great idea to just really switch over and get some good Jameson, big bottles of Jameson, and just start kind of going with that for a while. So big mistake, I think, right? I think, from the longest time, tequila and beer was my winning formula. I loved tequila and beer. I could monitor my buzz. I can take it too far if I wanted to. I could stop it when I needed to. I always kind of had the left hand, right hand. Beer would never really get me too drunk, and it would make sure I was, moving my elbow, and that little bit of tequila over there, I'd monitor it real close, and first glass, second glass, and I tend to be in a better mood with tequila, or at least better than the other boozes. Gin, I've only done it a few times, and both times, I might as well have just done acid, right? I mean, it is like a drug to me. I don't know what that is in that shit, but that stuff takes me to nowhere land. So no gin for me, and I hardly ever drank it, and seriously, both times, just nuts. So there's that. Vodka, one's not enough, two's too many. As far as that's how the martinis go for me. They're terrible hangovers, 3-day hangovers, totally miserable. I just, other people don't get hangovers off of it. I don't get hangovers off of tequila, but as nearly as bad. Whiskey, I get hangovers, and there was another reason why. Why was I doing whiskey and then, going with the hangover? But so vodka, I tried to keep that to a minimum, No fun for me, vodka. Just not my thing. Wine typically can be a nice, cool red wine. It's good for me for a long time until I maybe have a lush moment. Now I'm puking wine 2 a.m. That's no good. So yeah, whiskey, and it's probably has a lot to do with a lot of the outbursts and really kind of solidifying a lot of the ends of what relationships really I parted with in this whole time period. Whiskey. It's weird to say it out loud, right? Like that there was a potion, a substance, something else outside of myself that really fueled the fire, if you will, on things that were really issues, things that were really needed to be addressed and meant to be addressed, but probably better off addressed sober, for one, and probably knowing kind of the grief that I was still kind of going through in different ways and not giving myself permission to do it. The whiskey caused me to really be all the more insecure, lash out, just not be my best self, right? So I even noticed it when I came up, here to Wyoming, and Like I like to howl at the moon, and I like to hear what whiskey has to tell me. Or I like to hear the stories that come in when I drink the booze. I like drinking, right? That's what I want to say here too. I love drinking. But then I was like, this whiskey thing is just, I got too much stress going on. There's too many things. It's just edging me wrong. It's not bringing out the right vibration in me. So I kind of switched over to tequila, and again, just sipping it and doing my thing in the evening. And the tequila definitely put me back on a nicer trajectory. I like my own company at least better than I did with the whiskey, so to speak. And I'm sure that would resonate to others. So pick your poison, and probably know what you're letting in, what chemical compounds are coming in, what's your body's reaction to it. And if you haven't already, I'm sure everybody's had this, but I try to talk to people about this often, and they're just like, oh, I puked on tequila once and can never drink it again. I haven't talked to a lot of people who, really acknowledge that these potions have different powers, and they bring out different personalities in us. At least for me, that's true. So I feel that. And I guess that's enough. It's nice to talk to you guys. Have a good night.